What's up guys, it's Aaronitmar, today bringing you some information that Masahiro Sakurai, the director for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, has released in his latest Famitsu column. This information is of course regarding the two new characters that were revealed during Nintendo's E3, and that is the hero from Dragon Quest and Banjo-Kazooie. The timing for the E3 Direct was kind of unfortunate with regard to Sakurai's Famitsu column, because Famitsu asks for the articles to be written in advance and then a draft sent in, and so in order to reduce the possible leaks that would come if you were to discuss Hero and Banjo-Kazooie in the article, he made sure that the last one, the previous one, didn't have any information on that, and then this one, of course, does have information, and he can now discuss freely these two characters, how they got into Smash, and just everything about them. Before we start, I'd love to give a huge shout out to Push Dustin. That name may be familiar. He is the one who founded Source Gaming. Now he is just sort of on his own. He's no longer with Source Gaming, but he regularly translates a ton of Japanese information, including pretty much anything that Sakurai publishes in Famitsu. A lot of the videos that I've done in the past regarding Sakurai's columns were translated or aided in translation by Push Dustin. He does amazing work. I will leave his Twitter down in the description. Please be sure to follow him and support him, because we would not know nearly as much as we do about some Smash stuff if it weren't for his translations. With that said, he jumps right in and he says that there is a lot that he would like to talk about, but for this article specifically, he's only going to be discussing how Hero and Banjo got into Smash. Their mechanics will presumably come later down the line when we're closer to the release date for both of these characters, so right now he's just discussing their actual inclusion. With that said, let's jump into the actual column. So first off, Sakurai starts with Hero from the Dragon Quest series. He says that the day has finally come when he could add Dragon Quest into Smash, which kind of gives me the idea that he has been a fan of Dragon Quest for a long time. And with everything that has come up about Dragon Quest since the inclusion in Smash, about how it's such a big deal in Japan, it kind of makes sense. I mean, Sakurai lives in Japan, he is Japanese, so it kind of makes sense that a gaming enthusiast like him would love Dragon Quest, and so I'm sure it was a real honor to be able to include Dragon Quest in Smash. Now, thinking about Dragon Quest and how he could incorporate it into the gameplay of Smash, he said that he wanted to include the legendary command prompt. He then said that he would have the command window appear and have random spells and attacks that could be chosen. Then following that, he decided that he could probably include a cool MP system as well. So this kind of confirms for us things that we're just only kind of guessing right now, and it's that the command prompt will actually appear and there will truly be an MP system involved. But he also says that random spells and attacks can be chosen, which is kind of interesting to me. It kind of shows us that we're not going to be able to truly pick whatever spell we want. Obviously, we're going to have a choice from the four that appear, but if Sakurai's word is to be taken literally, they are going to be random, which means we're only going to be able to use certain ones based on what the game just spits at us. And I'm not entirely sure how to feel about this. I mean, I like the idea of using any spell that you want, but I also understand how much more complicated that would make the character and how you would have to go through different menus, and Smash being an actual fighting game, or a real-time game, you don't really have the time to choose any kind of move that you want. So I'm sure this was kind of splitting the difference, giving us the option for spells in the actual command prompt, but also not having us just navigate menu after menu after menu while also trying to avoid a Pichu running at us. He then talks about the four protagonists that basically consist of the character of Hero, and those are the protagonists from Dragon Quest XI, obviously, Dragon Quest III, Dragon Quest IV, and Dragon Quest VIII. He also said that typically there's a restriction, I assume from Square Enix, on which Dragon Quest protagonists can fight with each other, but Smash was of course given a special permission. He then also says that Dragon Quest VIII's protagonist was a request specifically from Western fans. And this kind of just gives us further evidence that Sakurai really does focus on the entire player base when he is making Super Smash Bros. So he saw that the Western fans had a particular liking for Dragon Quest VIII, and so he saw that this was an opportunity to include the protagonist from that game in order to sort of split the difference again between the popularity for Dragon Quest in the West and in Japan. Sakurai then said that he felt nervous about including such a legendary series in Smash, which again shows how much he likes Dragon Quest and how much he acknowledges the impact that Dragon Quest has. And so he decided that the final Smash will include all the past characters from Dragon Quest in order to best summarize and showcase the entire series. And that is exactly what we see. All of the protagonists are included in the final Smash, and that I think is really, really cool. It's also kind of like he's playing catch-up because Dragon Quest has not been included in Smash in the 2 decades that we have had Smash, so he's kind of like, okay, there are a ton of games to be included, let's find a way to include them all. He also says that Hero having voice acting was not part of their initial plan. When they first started development, it was planned to have the hero silent, which is typical in Dragon Quest. But with Dragon Quest XI's adding a voice actor for the protagonist, the plans were changed, and so the other heroes will also have voice actors, and they will be announced at a later time. Now, with all that said about Dragon Quest and the hero, it's time to talk about Banjo-Kazooie. Sakurai starts by saying that Banjo-Kazooie were an incredibly popular request by the fans in the West for a very long time. And he said that even after the inclusion of King K. Rool and Ridley, requests for Banjo were still coming in. And then of course Sakurai talks about the complicated relationship with Banjo-Kazooie and how difficult it would be to get them in. While they were originally an N64 game and it does seem very natural for them to be included, they are now owned by Microsoft. Rare was purchased by Microsoft in the early 2000s, and Banjo's games were all transferred over to the Xbox 360 and now Xbox One. And because Microsoft and Nintendo are rivals in the console space, it's usually thought that you shouldn't help out your rivals and include their properties in your own game. But he says that they were able to get the character very easily. And this was information that came out after it was revealed that Banjo would be in Smash during the E3 Direct. Xbox head Phil Spencer gave in an interview or tweeted or something along those lines that Banjo in Smash was a very, very easy deal to make. He has always been very vocal about Banjo joining Smash, and so it just seemed like a no-brainer once Nintendo actually approached Microsoft and said, hey, we want the bear and the bird. Sakurai also thanks Rare, saying that their assistance was very, very valuable, and thanks to them, he was able to satisfy the requests of many, many fans. He then puts in his personal opinion in the article, which is something that is kind of uncommon, and he says that he doesn't really care for console wars. No matter what kind of consoles come out, if there are enjoyable games, Sakurai is going to respect that and he is going to enjoy the game no matter what console it's on. And we can see that by just how much he seemed to love Persona 5. That is a PlayStation exclusive and he just loves the heck out of that game. Finally, Sakurai ends the column by saying that there are a lot of companies involved with Smash. First party, second party, third party developers. He notes that that is what makes his work truly special. He wants to please all of the fans of all of the original games, and so he will continue to work hard. Although, side note, I'm glad that it seems like he is taking a much more healthy work ethic this time around, both for the development of Smash Ultimate and now for the DLC. It really sounds like he was unhealthy in the past, as we have since learned, so I'm glad that he is being much healthier and much smarter about the development of this game. And with that, we have covered everything that Sakurai has talked about in this Famitsu column. I'm really looking forward to the future columns when Hero and Banjo are both sort of on the slate to be released, so that way Sakurai can talk more about the mechanics and the movesets of the actual characters than simply their inclusion in Smash. What do you guys think of this column? What do you think about what Sakurai said about Hero, about Banjo, and surprisingly about console wars? I'm not surprised about the console wars thing, like I said, but it's nice to see that he is just respectful of all games. And with regard to that respect for all games, it's very cool that he included both Hero and Banjo-Kazooie and kind of acknowledged that one was for the West and one really was for the East. And I think Sakurai really understands the unique position he has as a developer. Typically, most game developers are focused on their own property and making it the best that they can, but Sakurai is receiving properties not only from Nintendo, but from Microsoft, from Square Enix, from Atlus. He's just combining all of these different properties into one thing. And I feel like it would be really, really easy to just throw them in and sort of just kind of half-ass it, I guess you could say. But he really doesn't do that. He really focuses on making each character the best version of themselves as he can. And I think he does that not only out of respect for the other developers because he knows what it's like to be a developer, but also for the fans because he knows how important each character that's added to Smash is to the fans, but also out of respect for gaming as a whole. And that might sort of envelop both the developers and the fans, but, you know, he has such a respect for games that anytime a character finally joins Smash, he has this inner urge to make it the absolute best that it possibly can be. And I can't honestly think of a single character where that isn't the case. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to go and follow Push Dustin down in the description at his Twitter, because without him, we would not be able to have videos like this. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe. I will see you guys next time. Peace out, and I hope you guys have a good day.